You are listening to ChartingWealth.com's daily review for Wednesday, the 9th of March 2016. Let's jump right into things. What happened with IYY, our total market fund? It represents the whole market. Well, we had quite a drop off during the course of Tuesday while the market was open. The market was actually down 1.09% for the day. When we look at our two-day chart, it is the first red open box candle we have had in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 two-day candles, which is 16 days, and that's not 2 weeks and 2 days. That's literally 5-day week. So that's 3 weeks plus some extra time because this candle is not yet complete. It is a 2-day candle. Again, an open red box, some upward movement on that candle, but again, just a little bit of upward movement. We have, again, a 1.09% down total market as represented by IYY. Now, if we drop back and check out our 4-hour chart, what do we see going on? Well, we have a crossover going down on the total market, and we have right at the same time a crossover in the derivative oscillator. Pretty hard down moves. A lot of movement down in the morning, followed by movement down in the afternoon in the total market. So we have the rollover that we have been waiting for. Now we're going to see if indeed that rollover turns into a roll back up or if the whole market goes over with it. We're going to wait and see. We don't know yet. So we have a down move on our small chart, our half-day chart, still above the 2-day trend line, and we have the big chart still in a confirmed up move. We don't have a cross yet in our MACD nor our derivative oscillator. Now, next we're going to go to SPY. Looks somewhat similar. The move down is still above the 2-day trend line for the previous days. Derivative oscillators lost some of its speed. The MACD has moved a fraction closer to the signal line, but still a lot of space yet to go. If we back up to our 4-hour chart, see what happened intraday. On the half-day chart, we see lots of down movement in the morning with some additional down movement in the afternoon. Overall, the S&P 500 is represented by SPY, was down the exact same amount as the total market, 1.09%. It too crossed over going down as the afternoon kicked in along with the derivative oscillator. So we're in the same position with the total market as we are with the S&P 500. Now we're going to go back to the 2-day chart. And as far as our indexes go, lastly, we're going to take a look index-wise at the Qs. What is the Qs? Well, it's QQQ. It represents the NASDAQ 100. What do we see going on there? Well, we talked about previously a red open box candle. We've had a red full candle, and again, that means even stronger down movement, a full red candle going down. The market itself for the Qs index, the NASDAQ 100, was down 0.83% for the day. However, it has not crossed over, of course, on the 2-day chart, but it has crossed through the 2-day trend line. Now, if we look intraday, what do we see? Well, we see that it actually crossed over back on the 7th. And what have we had happen? Well, it continued down in the morning. A little bit of up movement in the afternoon. It's just crossing through the 2-day trend line on the 4-hour chart. So we do have that roll back. And again, we're going to see if this continues or if indeed the market's going to move back up again. But so in other words, we have the rollback we've been waiting for, but we don't have any trigger to get in on a down move or an up move. Now, if it rolls back over and starts heading back up, like it did back on the 12th, if you see a move like this on the 4-hour chart from the 12th where the MACD rolls back over, crosses the signal line going up, and we still have the 2-day trend line or the 2-day, we have the 2-day chart in an up move as it is now. It might tighten up. It could roll completely over, but when the small chart rolls back in the opposite direction of the big chart, and then moves back over in that same direction, that's your trigger to get in. Now, what do we have going on lastly as we, again, stay on our 2-day chart and take a look at gold? What do we see going on with gold? Well, gold is still above the 2-day trend line. We could redraw that and tighten that up a little more. It's not yet crossed over. The derivative oscillator crossed over a few days ago, but it is continued in an up move. The derivative oscillator's actually lost some of its downward momentum, but it does appear that the MACD and the signal line are getting closer together on the 2-day chart. Still have some room for upward movement in our Bollinger Bands. We have a red candle that's been forming over the last day or so. And if we drop back from that, so we're in a confirmed up move on the big chart, if we look at the 4-hour chart, what do we see? Well, it crossed over going up as we talked about. Hopefully those of you who wanted to get into gold followed that. And as I talked about yesterday, as it was getting long in the tooth and we ended the day with some questions. I did give you some warnings about what's going to happen with gold. Is it going to roll back over? It's still above the 2-day trend line. The 2-day chart is still in an up movement, although it's getting closer. Nothing saying gold is going to go down yet. It was down just actually less than 0.5% for the day, but looks like it's getting close to crossing over going down. Again, that's just on the 4-day chart, but the 4-day chart can be an accurate chart, has in the past. It's also been inaccurate, but it's been accurate more than it's been inaccurate. So be careful, continue to watch gold. It's not yet crossed over, but it may be doing that in the next day or so. So that is where we end the day on gold and our 3 indexes. Hopefully, you're continuing to watch the markets. Again, when we start getting some signals to actually get into some of our virtual trades, we will be definitely talking about that. We're in a holding pattern right now, just seeing what's going on in those markets. And of course, for those of you who are in gold, pay close attention to what's happening on the 4-hour chart and of course that 2-day chart, which is still in a confirmed up move. That is where we are. Hope that everything's going well for you. You have questions, concerns, problems, issues. We love to hear from you. Just go to our website, chartingwealth.com. Let us hear from you. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You name it, we are there for you from chartingwealth.com.